I used to live life on a tightrope, always teetering. My mornings kicked off with a 5 a.m. alarm screaming "Gym," and my nights often ended with an 11:30 p.m. alert blaring "Deadline." And you know what? Despite all that effort, I still felt like I was constantly failing at both life and work. Sound familiar? That nagging feeling that you're just not doing enough, no matter how hard you push? Yeah, I get it. Here's the brutal truth, and it might sting a little. Trying to balance work and life is like balancing your rent money on a roulette table. You're one unlucky spin, one unexpected crisis, one late email away from feeling completely broke, emotionally, physically, and maybe even financially. It's an impossible game to win consistently, so stop aiming for balance. Seriously, stop. Instead, aim for overlap. Do that, and I promise you, you will pick up 10 free hours a week without cutting a single paycheck or sacrificing your ambition. For too long, we've been sold this pretty but utterly unrealistic teeter-totter image. 8 hours for work, 8 hours for life, 8 hours for sleep. It's a neat little package, isn't it? The kind of ideal that looks great on a motivational poster, but falls apart the second you try to live it. The reality, it's a myth that's exhausting us all. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports the average American is actually on the clock for about 8.8 hours, and then we're tackling life admin, groceries, appointments, bills, school runs for another 3.4 hours. That leaves a mere 11.8 awake hours crammed into a 24-hour day. No wonder a 2023 Gallup poll found that a staggering 61% of us feel burned out more often than not. We're chasing an illusion, trying to keep two separate scales perfectly even when they're constantly in motion. Balance scales are built for still objects. Your day, my friend, is a windstorm. It's time to stop fighting the wind and learn to sail with it. Just 2 years ago, I was deep in the trenches, launching a startup that demanded everything I had. Simultaneously, I was coaching my 7-year-old soccer team, trying desperately to be present for both. I clung to the idea of keeping these worlds rigidly separate, phone off at practice, laptop open until 2 a.m. after the kids were asleep. I believed that's what a responsible adult did, compartmentalize. But the truth was I was just spreading myself thinner and thinner, feeling perpetually guilty no matter where I was. Then came my turning point. One night, my son, beaming with pride, handed me his MVP medal. He looked up at me, his eyes wide, and said, "You can keep it at the office so you don't forget me." That hit me like a ton of bricks. It wasn't a childish jab, it was an innocent observation from a kid who felt his dad was always somewhere else. In that moment, I realized I wasn't balancing anything. I was slicing myself into smaller, resentful pieces, trying to fit into a mold that was never meant for me. I was missing the point entirely. Jeff Bezos famously calls it work-life harmony, but I prefer to call it the overlap method. Forget the seesaw, forget the scales. Think of your day as a Venn diagram, not two separate, competing circles. The magic happens in that beautiful, often overlooked, overlapping space. That's where the energy from one circle genuinely fuels the other, creating a synergistic effect that balance simply can't. When I finally started merging those circles, taking work calls during my walk to school with the kids, turning boring spreadsheets into bedtime math games, bringing relevant work stories home, appropriately of course, something shifted. The stress graph on my smartwatch, which had been a jagged mountain range, dropped a remarkable 18% in just a month. Integration isn't about doing two things at once, not really. It's about context blending, about intentionally finding those intersections so that nothing feels stolen from somewhere else. It's about weaving the threads of your life together rather than trying to keep them in separate, tangled piles. It's a mindset shift that recognizes life isn't a series of separate events, but a rich, interconnected tapestry. So, how do you actually do this? How do you move from the myth of balance to the reality of integration? Here are 3 practical moves you can start making today. Calendar fusion. Stop color-coding your calendar with rigid boundaries, work in blue, life in green. That only reinforces the separation. Instead, block out one color, a single hue, labeled simply priority. If a midday park break recharges your mental batteries, if a quiet hour for reading sparks your creativity, then lock it into your calendar with the same unwavering commitment you would a critical product launch or an important client meeting. Treat these personal anchors with the same reverence you give your professional commitments. Protections go both directions, meaning your personal time is just as sacred as your work time, and your work time is just as sacred as your personal time. It's about respecting your entire self. Anchor events. This is about planting non-negotiable flags in your week. Pick 2 immovable personal events, maybe Tuesday breakfast with your partner, or Thursday 3 p.m. school pickup, or your weekly pottery class. Now here's the key. Tell your team, your colleagues, your clients. These are non-negotiable. It might sound counterintuitive, but clear boundaries like these actually create more flexibility everywhere else. When people know your hard edges, they learn to work around them, and you gain freedom in the spaces between. It sets expectations and ensures that the truly important personal moments aren't constantly sacrificed on the altar of urgent, but not always important, work demands. Outcome tags. This one is powerful. Stop asking yourself, how many hours did I work today? It's a metric that often leads to burnout and a sense of inadequacy. Instead, shift your focus to what result did I create? Go a step further. Tag every task not just with its immediate output, but with its real-world personal outcome. So, finish report doesn't just become report done, it becomes fund kids camp, or pay for that much-needed vacation, or enable my team to hit their goals. When tasks link directly to your personal meaning, your motivation doesn't just increase, it doubles. And here's the kicker. Tasks often shrink to the time they truly deserve, rather than expanding to fill the time available. It's Parkinson's law in reverse, and it's incredibly liberating. You become more efficient because you understand the deeper why behind your efforts. If you're done white-knuckling that impossible balance beam, if you're ready to embrace a more fluid, fulfilling way of living, then hit subscribe. Next week, I'm going to show you the exact template I use to turn a demanding 40-hour workweek into a more manageable 28 hours, all without losing a single cent of income. Embracing integration gave me back 10 daylight hours every single week. 10 hours. I used that newfound time to train for a 10K, which I finally ran with my daughter by my side, a memory I'll cherish forever. And guess what? Our company still hit record revenue. This isn't just anecdotal fluff either. The American Psychological Association finds that people who blend rather than balance report a remarkable 37% higher life satisfaction and a 23% lower intent to quit their jobs. Translation: you stay happier, more fulfilled, and less stressed. Employers get to keep their best talent. And those precious weekends, they stop feeling like recovery marathons from a week you barely survived, and start feeling like genuine opportunities for rest and joy. It's a win-win-win for you, your family, and even your career. Balance wants you to stand still, frozen in fear, on a tightrope, desperately trying not to fall. Integration, on the other hand, teaches you to dance on a wide, forgiving stage with plenty of room to move and express yourself. It's about fluidity, not rigidity, so don't try to do it all at once. Just pick one tactic, fuse your calendar, plant 2 anchor events, or start tagging your outcomes with personal meaning, and commit to it today. Believe me, 10 hours of genuine freedom are hiding inside your routine, just waiting to be discovered. No juggling, no tightropes, no white knuckles required, just a more human, more integrated way to live.